The May 2012, Paper 1, Problem 6. Now we look and we see we've got a logic problem, and we're going to be basically asked about some definitions from logic. So the first thing that we're asked in Part A is to remember what that little arrow symbol means, and we want to remember that that indicates that we have a conditional, which is an if-then statement. So if we're writing if P then Q, then we're going to have to write out the sentence, and I messed it up already. We're going to write down the sentence, if the numbers x and y are both even, then the sum of x and y is an even number. And the IB graders on this problem are looking for the idea that you understand that the conditional is an if-then statement. In Part B, we're asked to write down the inverse of the statement. So in the inverse of a statement, we're going to remember that that is if not P, then not Q. And you would write, and I'm not going to take the time to do that, if the numbers x and y are not even, then the sum of x and y is not even. So that's just if not P, then not Q. And then in Part C, state whether the inverse of the statement, if P then Q, is always true. Justify your answer. If you can come up with a counter example, then you can state that it's not true. So can you think of a counter example that would show that that's not Q? So that's not true. So let's see. Can we think of two even numbers that we could add up and not get an even number as our answer? So we're looking for a counterexample of the inverse. And the inverse says if x and y are not both even, then the sum is also not even. Well, let's think of a counterexample. 5 is not even, plus 7, which is not even, is equal to 12, which is even. So therefore, the inverse is not always true.